6 months of this term is already over. Wait a minute. All right. We don't have to, we just have to canvass the elections. They've already been certified by the state, by the proper authorities, and all we have to do is public record. So, all right, well, thanks. Now we have oath of office for the newly elected board members. It is now time to swear in newly elected board members for a 3-year term, 2.5. Mary Ann Roseberry will now administer the oath of office to Mr. Watkins and me.
We might want to read it on the board too. Okay, if y'all will raise your right hand and repeat after me. Y'all are going to do this together, so I, her name,
I, John Abbott,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Mineola ISD School Board Trustee
of the office of Mineola ISD School Trustee
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect,
preserve, protect,
and defend the Constitution and law
and defend the Constitution and law
of the United States and of this state,
of the United States and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations. Step out of your way, if you don't mind.
Come on up. Don't be shy.
Yep, nope. Thank you. In there. Sign right there.
All right, reorganization of the board. Wait, I'll wait a minute.
Right.
Okay. I think that's my signature.
That was already. Thank you. Good night, y'all.
Night, thank you.
We need, okay.
Yes, yes.
It's now time to reorganize the board. We have the offices of president, vice president, and secretary. I've asked Mr. McGow to start that process for the office of president.
Okay. At this time, we're going to reorganize the board. I'd like to open up for nominations for the office of president. I'd like to make the first nomination for Dr. John Abbott to continue in his role as president.
Move nomination cease.
Got a second from Mr.
Not me,
Dahl?
but there needs to be one.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Roddick, all in favor? All right, Dr. Abbott, you are still the president.
Thank you.
Hey, John.
It's just one memento.
You want to give the copy? You can give it the copy. All right. Are there any, no, it's all right. Next page. Nominations are open for the office of vice president.
I nominate Jay McGow.
Mr. McGow has been nominated for vice president. Is there a second? I'll second. Oh, did you, your
Either
hand?
way.
Okay.
Either
Jill
way.
seconded. All those in favor? Congratulations, Jay. And then office of secretary. We'll take president privilege and nominate Jill Campbell for the office of secretary.
My second.
Second by Jay McGow. All those in favor? Congratulations, Madam Secretary. All right.
So I can read my notes.
And now it's time for us to go into executive session. So we'll take a short time in that room and Be back shortly. Gracie. Okay.
7:03.
Okay. I'm now going to declare the Board of Trustees back in open session. For the record, the time is 7:08. Thanks for waiting on us. While in executive session, no final action, final decisions, or final votes were taken. Item 8 on the agenda is gifts and donations. Mr. Bjork.
Y'all know my name is William Bjork. This is not who's who tonight. And I am the treasurer of the Community Chest in Mineola, formerly United Way, formerly Community Chest. We've kind of come full circle. Anyway, we have a presentation we want to make to each of the 4 campuses of $500 each to go to their benevolent account. When we were United Way, we had done this for a number of years, and then we had stopped because of the amount of money they were getting, but we've noticed that the number of children that have needs are greater than ever. So that's why if you 4 would come up here. I had asked our president, Linda Rhodes, to come tonight, but I guess she couldn't make it. Now, you know when I give these to you, you have to give them right back.
Thank you. So nice. Thank you.
I don't know if y'all know, but each campus has a benevolent account in their activity fund that they're able to use to help children with, especially with clothing, shoes, and school supplies. And that's what we'd like them to be used for. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
You want these first? Yeah.
Thanks.
Things come full circle.
Item 9 on the agenda is the superintendent's update.
President, members of the board, guests that are here tonight, thank y'all for being here. Real quick, I'll start out with COVID-19 update. I'm sure many of you saw the news this morning and the positive message that we heard from Moderna on a possible vaccination that may be coming pretty soon. So we're excited about that. But to give you an update on the campus situation, we have currently 3 active employee cases, 17 active student cases. Currently, we're releasing information on our mobile application once a week. We've kind of scaled that back. Usually I was doing one every time we had a case, and I just didn't want to overwhelm people with that. Obviously, those ones that are in close contact and need to be notified, we're notifying them individually, and we're going to start publishing once a week information that we'll get out to you concerning the case of the campuses. But so far, so good. I've had a lot of people ask me the question, are we getting close to shutting down? I know we've seen some of our neighbor school districts that have had to shut down, and I'm very thankful to report to you that we're nowhere near shutting down at Mineola ISD. So we're very thankful for that as we continue to educate kids. Also, a big shout out this evening to the Mineola Yellow Jacket varsity football team on their by-district championship win over Atlanta, 42-12 last Thursday night. Very proud of Coach Blackwell and their staff and the kids for the way that they played. They will be playing in the area championship game on this Friday, November the 20th at 7:30 p.m. in Princeton versus Dallas Madison. Also, Mr. Brandon's here tonight. I want to extend a congratulations to them as well. They had the opportunity to travel to the Princeton marching contest and finished as grand champions. And probably the most notable event of the evening was defeating the Class 4A state champion marching band and the Canton Eagles. And so that was pretty amazing that they finished that high, and awesome job. We have several leadership teams that are advancing to the Area 6 FFA Leadership Contest, which will be held in Carthage on Thursday. Other great student activities that are happening on each of our campuses. And most importantly, the reason why the school is open is to educate kids, and we're seeing great progress academically with our kids by having them here. So we're excited about what's happening in the future, and looking forward to great outcomes for our kids as we get closer to testing season. At this time, I want to have Mr. Sauer come up. We got a very special guest here tonight that I'm going to yield the floor to. I had the opportunity, I was telling her dad this at the football game, had an opportunity to judge this young lady, Mr. Sauer and Miss Knipp and I, had an opportunity to judge this young lady in her job interview contest. And I told her dad, I want to be able to vote for her for some kind of office in 2048. So that's how impressive this young lady is, no joke. And just one of our wonderful example of a great student and a leader at Mineola High School. And so, Mr. Sauer, I'll allow you to provide that introduction for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you all to Sunny Ruffin. Sunny is a junior here at Mineola High School, near the top of her class, involved in everything that a student can be involved in. But tonight she's going to speak to you as a state officer for FCCLA, and her sponsor, Mrs. Patty Hawkins, is over here. And so I'm going to turn the mic over to Sunny Ruffin.
Thank y'all for letting me be here tonight. I'm so excited to share my passion for FCCLA and what it has done for me to those members of the school board. I especially want to thank y'all for supporting FCCLA and supporting the family consumer sciences at the school. I'll start off by explaining what FCCLA is. It's Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. And it's a great opportunity for students like myself to engage in leadership positions, to do community outreach projects, community service projects, and it's been a great opportunity for me to build on my team building skills and to get some leadership experience. I currently hold the office of State Vice President of Peer Involvement, in which my main purpose is to engage more people into joining FCCLA, or even not FCCLA, or just be more involved in their school. And so I want to thank y'all for letting me be here tonight, and thank you for supporting FCCLA, and definitely to Ms. Hawkins, thank you for being my sponsor. Thank y'all for having me.
Holiday. We have a half day on Friday, and we'll have the following week off for Thanksgiving, and want to wish all of our staff, our students, and all of our parents, community members a very happy Thanksgiving this year. So,
Thank you. All right. I believe there's some special recognitions. We'll do that now.
Primary School Student of the Month, Ms. Ray.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our primary school students of the month. This is Miss Jessica Silver and Miss Silva, not Silver, Jessica Silva and Mr. Cannon Madsen, and they are both kindergartners in Mrs. Williams' class here with us. Mrs. Williams shared a few things about each student. She shared Jessica is kind-hearted, independent, a hard worker, and reliable, which anytime you go in her classroom, you can always see her working, doing the right thing and being a leader among her peers. And Mr. Cannon is always a great team player, which I got to witness that watching him in stations the other day, as well as persistent, helpful, and has a wonderful work ethic. She shares that they're both amazing students and a pleasure to have in class. So it's my honor to present Cannon and Jessica to you guys. And they are joined here by their families. Jessica's family is over here, Gregoria Lopez and Jose Silva, and then Cannon's mom, Ashley, is right over here. So super proud of these two. Are you ready?
Ms. Thompson, Elementary Students of the Month.
Good evening. Tonight, it is my pleasure to introduce our students of the month who are both fifth graders. We have Miss Ayla Mormon and Mr. Elijah Zavala. Ayla's teachers wrote that she is a great student who always strives to do her best in more than just her academic work. She is a great friend to others in the class and sets the example for what a leader should look like. Ayla is a caring and dedicated student, so we're happy to honor her tonight. Her family is here to support her. Elijah could not be with us tonight, but I am going to go ahead and read what his teachers wrote about him. He was selected for Student of the Month because of his positive attitude, his kind heart, and strong work ethic. He always strives to do his best and works hard even when faced with a difficult task. Elijah never fails to volunteer to help out around the classroom and can be frequently found assisting a classmate. He is unfailingly kind and polite to those around him. We are happy to have them represent our 5th grade class for Student of the Month. He's going to give you a certificate. Oh, he's giving you an elbow bump. I'll take it. Thank you very much.
No, because we didn't do it for the first one. I thought about that at first.
Ms. Gould, Middle School Students of the Month.
Hello, everyone. I just want to introduce you to Gracie Lindley. She's an 8th grade student at Mineola Middle School. She was at her first day of basketball practice and not only broke one bone, but broke 2, fractured one, and actually broke one where it had to have a screw, right? Screw put in it. So she is hobbling around, but she has been such a positive person through it all. She is the daughter of Cody and Tiffany Lindley. Gracie is a cheerleader, and her favorite sport is basketball. She has a great work ethic and is always respectful to her teachers and classmates. She strives to pull the best out of herself and her classmates and encourages her peers to always work hard. Gracie has a very positive attitude, and her teachers say that she is very teachable and eager to learn. She won't settle for less than her best, and her teacher said that of her, so I think that's pretty fitting. We also have Cole Dane. He is not here because it is the boys' first basketball game today, and they are playing Quitman, so he was very excited about that. So he has chosen to do that, which I'm sure he is very needed. But he is the son of Robert and Brandy Dane. Cole is a very hard worker also, who desires to do his best in all of his classes. He takes pride in his work and is always proactive to take care of things up front. He is a good role model for his peers as he exemplifies what a good student does to be successful. Cole just finished a successful season of football and looks forward to a great basketball season. So these kids are very busy and very active in school, so we're very grateful for them. Carry that.
I know.
I'm telling you, she got it going on.
Thank you.
And Mr. Sorensen, our High School Students of the Month.
It's my pleasure to introduce our Super Sophomores of the Month. I've got one with me today, Mr. Alex Barriga. Miss Zoe Goodson will represent the women, but she could not be here tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Zoe. I've known her since she was in kindergarten. She's always been a sweet, kind, considerate young lady, involved in whatever she could get involved in school, doing the right thing because it's the right thing, making great grades, and she's a terrific example for her sophomore class, as well as her brothers and sisters. It's neat being the oldest and those looking up to you. She's involved in FFA, FCA, TAFE, FCCLA, and the golf team. She competes with the Ag Issues team as well as the quiz team in FFA. She's taken on the time-consuming task of raising a pig, never done that, that she'll show in the spring. Last year, she competed at the state level for TAFE with a community service project and earned a blue ribbon. She says she enjoys hanging out with friends and family, and she loves watching Netflix. Go figure. Zoe Goodson. Mr. Alex Barriga, right here, the golden voice of Mineola High School. He's a sophomore and a proud member of FFA, where he competes with the Ag, Advocacy, and Senior Skills Group. He has a very competitive personality and loves to express it in sports as well as FFA. We were over there reminiscing. Weren't you the one in the 8th grade playing Edgewood, fourth quarter, clock running out, got to make the basket to win the game, and Alex puts it in the whole district championship? That was you, right? Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. He competes in football, basketball, track, and tennis. He loves to spend his spare time watching football and hanging out with friends and he says, and doing schoolwork. Don't you love it? Alex says he strives to serve as a role model for his younger brother, Christopher. And this school year, he's taken on the morning duty, the role of the morning duty of morning announcements, and he is outstanding at that. He says he hopes his words uplift and help even one person get through their day. He wants to study sports broadcasting after graduation and host his own sports radio show, and I have no doubt that he will. Zoe Goodson and Alex Barriga.
We certainly appreciate, oh, we're not through. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Support Staff Employee of the Month. I'm going to ask Chief Castleberry if he'll come up. If you haven't noticed yet, our newest employee is in the building tonight. And we're going to let Chief talk a little bit about what Officer Hurst has been through to get this young lad here with us.
That's Sergeant Hurst and Thor, and we're working on Thor's manners. He doesn't speak English, so we're having a little bit of trouble. He's actually, what language does he speak? Slovakian. I don't know any Slovakian, so I'm going to have to brush up on that. As you know, back in the spring, we put in for a grant for a canine for the police department and the school district here. They called us, as things always happen, they called us last minute. They called us on a Tuesday, said, hey, can you be here Monday? We didn't even think we were going to get it. So we had to make some very last-minute arrangements, and we're able to do that. And Officer Hurst made some sacrifices personally. He's got 3 young kids and a wife that works at the sheriff's office, 12-hour shifts, so he had to make quite a bit of an adjustment to make this happen. He spent 3 weeks in Houston, which that's a pretty tough class he had to go to, physically demanding, mentally demanding, academically demanding. And not only did he make it through there, he excelled and actually scored in the top of the class with 99%. And they had a little competition there at the end. And it was a scenario where they had hid narcotics. It's supposed to take several minutes for the dog to find the narcotics. Thor found it in 22 seconds. So he's got a good nose on him. And what we intend to do with Thor is prevention, as I've told y'all. And we think that Officer Hurst and Thor are going to excel at that. So due to his sacrifice and excellent work and scoring at 99%, we nominated Mike for the Support Staff of the Month. A little history on Thor. He was actually a DPS state trooper dog, and he is excited. Like I said, we're working on his manners, but. All right. He's excited.
And for our Teacher of the Month, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Gould.
Okay, it is with great honor and privilege that I announce Sarah Rose to you today. She was chosen as Mineola Middle School's Teacher of the Month. This is only her second year in teaching, but she's already made a mark on middle school campus as someone who is competent and dependable. She's extremely flexible. You can put her anywhere. You can ask her to do anything, and she is there. She's loved by all of her students. She goes to all the games. We call ourselves the Bleachers Creatures. She's always there with her photographers, taking pictures. She does yearbook. She does student council. She's the history teacher. She assists teachers with virtual students as well. That's another one of her duties. So she just does everything. And she's always there to support her students. She's a very dedicated teacher who is sincerely devoted to her students, and the greatest thing about Sarah is that her kids know that too. So it's just a great honor and privilege to announce Sarah Rose as our Teacher of the Month.
Okay. Again, we certainly appreciate the recognitions, the parents that are here. Thank you for letting us have your students and helping us help them. And we invite you to stay, but we certainly understand the next item of business is the audit. So if you want to sneak out now, you might want to. Thanks. Mr. Bjork. Oh, okay.
You know, Linda's a member of the Peacock family and has always been big supporters of our school district. Her daughter, Dawn, is one of our counselors, so she knows the importance of schools in the community. Now to the fun part. My name is Brian, I live in Big Rose, Andrew, Marvin, that did our audit for the 1920 school year. He's going to give y'all a thumbnail straight up.
I'm going page by page. Page by page. We'll just start at the front.
We're ready.
No. My name is Andrew Arnold, and I'm with Arnold Walker Arnold and Company. If you'll turn to page 17, that's really where I'm going to be. It's Exhibit C3. Now, I'm a numbers guy. 99%, that's pretty good. I mean, that's almost 100%, so best I can figure. Okay, so Exhibit C3, oh, yeah, a couple more pages down. There we go, one more. Keep going. Yep, keep going. There we go. So if you're looking at C3, the column labeled General Fund, we're going to tell our income and expenses. The third row from the bottom, that $365,000, that's what we added to our fund balance. If I were on the board, I would wonder where are we at the end of this year compared to last year. And that's what we did. We added $365,000 to fund balance. The main change in revenues were, local revenues were up about $400,000 because of property taxes. The rest of that increase, which is a little over $1 million, was in state revenue. We had the state mandated pay rate increases, and that's what the state revenue was for mostly. Our expenditures were up just a little over $1 million, and most of that was instructional, payroll, that sort of thing. A few things I might mention. We did some minor renovations, purchased a bus and some equipment, took on no new debt, and debt is on its way. Y'all are headed in the right direction. We're down to $356,000 that we owe, and a good strong fund balance of $8.6 million. So it was a clean audit. You probably remember every year I've stood up here, you know, I brag on William and the folks he works with, and it's just, we show up, we were talking, we've got a couple of schools left to audit, and they're just dogs, and won't name names, but if we had 10 other schools like this, we'd have been done a couple weeks ago. But appreciate him and his help, and appreciate y'all letting us do the work for you. And it was nice to meet the new super, and he was actually here while we were here. So most superintendents, the auditors come in and they're gone for the week, and yeah. But anyway, thank y'all.
Thank you, William. And you're next, item M. We are going to do the first disclosures. The first item is relevant to see what financial activities school districts are. Easier said than done. Item M on the agenda is to consider information and items discussed in executive session. There is nothing to vote on, so. And N is information, reports, and discussion items, no action required. Mr. Bjork, again, with your financial report.
Our financial report for the month of October, which is the second month of the school year. You know, we're on what they call payment plan 2 in the state of Texas. We received funding for the first 3 months of the year, September, October, November, and then they'll be cutting us off till April. They'll expect us to live on tax funds for that, and then pick us back up. But as of the end of October, Jennifer, if you will slide down to around 1,050, we ended the month with $9.6 million in fine cash, which is up $665,000 from the previous month. Now, interest rates are still kind of going down, not as much. The textbook is down to like 0.13 to 1%, which is getting close to nothing. But even with that, we're plugging along. Do y'all have any questions on anything y'all saw in the reports when you looked at it?
I did. No.
If you ever have a question, you know it's all.
Exactly. It's a lot easier.
That's it, the next year.
Okay. So so December would be, or January, I guess.
December probably the second biggest time, January will be the biggest time.
Okay. All right, any enrollment? Oh, I'm sorry. Enrollment.
I don't know, William, despite everything that's going on, to see these 96% in here for attendance is pretty nice.
I think it's pretty good. You say anything in Ross, usually we place the budget in the this year, because
But our attendance is still like 90, is 96%. Yeah.
It's really good.
It is good. Right.
I mean, it's just a smidge under, so.
Thanks. Okay, the elementary program evaluation, Mrs. Kenya.
This is actually the English learner.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Requires that we report in 4 different areas of the EL program that we offer in the district. So I promise this will not be crazy. It's going to be quick. But they do require that we report on these 4 areas. So I'm going to briefly go through each one for you. And you did receive it, I believe, as an attachment. So if you have any questions or if you looked at anything or look later, you can just ask about that if you like. But this doesn't show up very well for the audience. But basically, the first area that we have to report on is the academic progress in the language of instruction. Academic progress related to making STAR progress means growth. So it's going to give us a grade or give us scores on and cut points on academic growth for those tests 4 through 8 math and reading, and then Algebra 1 and English 2, since those are the only years and the only tests that we can show growth on. So it's not about achievement for this part, it's about their growth. And we only have, remember, 2018 and 2019 data because we didn't take the STAR test in 2020, but we still have to report these numbers to you, even though you heard them last year as well. You can just see on there for all the grades and in both subjects, 59% of our kids showed growth according to the state measures, whereas the year before it was 75, so we saw a drop in that between those 2 years. And then it's broken down on the right. You can see the math numbers separate from the ELAR numbers. And this comes from our taper report that they give us every year. And then they also ask us to break down the percent of ELs making STAR progress by program type. So the two program types are content, so that's those ESL students that get served in the classroom where the teacher comes in and gives them the attention that they need. Then there's also the pull-outs, so that's where those kids are pulled out of the classroom and they go with the ESL teacher. And you can kind of compare their percentage of making growth on the STAR or making progress. I highlighted, I don't know if it came out this way on your attachments that you got in your board packet, but I highlighted the 70% from the 2018 RLA just to kind of show you that of those tests of those years, those students who were served in the content area outscored those that were served in the pull-out. Otherwise, the pull-outs tend to do better if you look at that table. Whenever they get that one-to-one or one-to-small group attention in pull-outs, they're scoring a little bit better as far as the progress measure. The next one, oh, never mind on that. Oh, look how fast I'm going. The next area is the TELPAS, which that's the Texas English Language Proficiency System, and so that's a state test that they make us, that we have to assess the kids on. This table is just showing you the percent of students who made one or more level composite progress or obtained advanced high on the TELPAS. So what this does is this just measures how well they're doing in those 4 areas of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And I highlighted the 31% for the district, and I made a note on that in the digital copy, that if we had had about 8 more kids, we would have reached our cut point. We didn't reach our cut point because we needed, I think it was 39% to reach what the state expected us to reach for kids who made progress on the TELPAS. And when we broke down the numbers, it was about 8 kids is all that we needed to advance. But of course, we couldn't give the TELPAS in the spring either. Only our primary kids were able to have the TELPAS test. So we don't know how well our kids may have done in 2020. Pardon me? I don't. I can find it for you, yeah.
I'm just curious if that 31% is higher than it was.
My guess is it's going to be lower since they were lower in the progress measure. So I'm guessing if I had 18 up there, but I can sure find it, Jill.
I was just curious.
Yeah, okay. That'd be a pretty good indicator anyway. And then a little more on the TELPAS, which is the Domain 3 or the Area 3 that we report on, is the number of students who have been reclassified as English proficient. There's a few different ways that they're reclassified, but the one that comes from this report is due to a TELPAS test. So they can advance out of the ESL program based on their TELPAS scores. Of course, we didn't have it except at primary, and we don't do that at the primary. We don't exit them out of the ESL program when they're in primary school. So this table, if you were going to look at it on your hard copy, just shows grades 3 through 12, and you can see the number of kids, and then I put the percentage of the kids that did reclassify. So what we were able to do this year was give the LAS test, the LAS test, which is another language sort of assessment. We did that in the fall, which helped us to move some kids into exit since we weren't able to do it using the TELPAS test. That was one of those things the state let us do because of the pandemic and not being able to test. There's additional information that I'm not going to go over, but I do have the 5-year program totals for you in that report. And basically, I showed you just on this quick slide, in 16-17, 9.72% of our total student population fell into the EL program. And in 2021, that number is only 10.46. So that doesn't look like much growth or too many more students. But remember that our overall enrollment is down. So that number would probably be higher. And then in some of the years in between 16, 17, and 2021, we did actually shoot up into the 11s and 13% of our kids. So it does fluctuate. That number of students fluctuates. We have a pretty high number of kiddos that we serve in the ESL program. We have 185 kids right now classified as ELs, which includes those kids that we monitor, but they're not in the ESL program, but we are still obligated to monitor them and how they're doing in their academics. And this was as of November 5th, according to the LPAC, which is in our DMAC data. So that also changes every month, but as of November, it was 185. And then I put in there the calendar, just in case you guys wanted to see our scheduling of our TELPAS and our LAS kids. I'm sure you're not too concerned with that, but the last area that we report on is the number of teachers and aides trained and the frequency, scope, and results of the PD in approaches and strategies that support second language acquisition. So I just listed there for you that we did train every single teacher, 100% of our teachers, in spring and fall of 2019 and 20 in the SIOP strategies, which is the Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol, which basically helps teachers understand what strategies work best for our ESL kids. And we had every teacher trained in that year. We offer SIOP refreshers every year provided by, we do have a trainer on staff, and then we call Region 7 in too to provide training. I know our elementary is setting up another training for some SIOP strategies again for a refresher. And so we know now we don't have 100% of our teachers that have been trained in SIOP, but we want to catch them up as well. The other thing is we did have, in summer 2019, 22 teachers that took advantage of the ESL Texas exam prep. So we helped them prepare to go down, but it's quite significant for our 2 teachers.
When you say like one of the goals is to increase the use of SOP strategies, what is it?
Well, so last year we offered a program where if teachers demonstrated SIOP strategies within their lesson plans and then provided evidence or artifacts to their principal, we offered them a little stipend, just an incentive to try to get them to use that. So ideally, we would look for those strategies built into their lesson plans, or principals would witness that when they were in the classroom and have discussions about why they used that SIOP strategy and the outcome of that, the effects of that. So our principals focus on looking for those SIOP strategies. And you know, the SIOP strategies are great. It's really best practice across the board for every single kid. It just especially helps kids that are trying to learn English or that come to us with another language.
How would you measure it, though? I mean, it's like you increase the usage from where to?
Yeah, there might not be a qualitative or a quantitative measure, but it would be more about, are we seeing it, are we hearing more conversation, and then hopefully the real result comes in their academic performance and their TEL-PASS performance. But we would really like to see it used K-12. Anything else? Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Mr. Mize, the first reading of TSB Policy Update 115.
Mr. President, members of the board, you have your Vantage Points document provided by TASB. It was included in your board packet. This is a variety of local and legal policy updates that will come down. Title IX is the biggest one. That was a major overhaul. Have you read any of that information or maybe attended a workshop on that? I know we've had several people involved in our district Title IX training, and that has completely changed. A lot of processes that will go into that. If the district does have a complaint or we do have to hear a grievance that comes through that issue. There's also other policies that are in there, so I'd encourage you to take some time, read through that. If you see anything that catches your eye, of course, I'm always available for a phone call or text. Feel free to reach out to me, and then we will have an adoption of these policies at our December board meeting.
Thanks. All right, public forum. I don't think anyone has signed up to address the board, so we'll move on. Item P, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on October 19th, 2020 as presented?
I'll move. Or second, whichever. I'm with you.
Motion by Ms. Campbell, seconded by Mrs. Roddick. All those in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
Thanks. New and unfinished business. P2A, consider approval of the 2019-2020 independent school audit by Arnold Walker, Arnold and Company. William, do you have anything to say? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the audit as presented?
I'll move.
This time Mrs. Roddick made the motion, seconded by Mrs. Campbell. All those in favor? Thanks. Consider approval of the 2019-2020 Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas Rating Report. Do I have a motion to approve the first report as presented?
So moved.
Thank you. Second? Second. Okay. All those in favor? Thanks. Discuss, consider, and take action on amendments to the 2021 revenue and expenditure budget. Mr. Bjork.
We have had a donation made to us by Sanderson Farms of $25,000. They would like to go back to the use in our CTE program. So they match our revenue and our expenditures. We've also had a budget for senior training for $5,000. If they're going to do it full in sort of work, $25,000 in their donation. And
Go back to the first one. Yeah. I didn't.
2,500.
They actually donated to the school district to be used in the CTE program.
Okay, thanks.
And 25,000 from CNB.
Yes.
Okay, I got them mixed up.
Do I have a motion to accept or approve the amendments as presented?
I'll move.
Jill, seconded.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Mr. Mize, the contract on the band hall project.
Mr. President, members of the board, I appreciate Perry Thompson and Wes McClure being here this evening. This is a standard general construction contract that was presented to us. I had our school legal counsel, Mr. John Hardy, review this document for us. Everything appears to be in working order there, and I would recommend that this be moved forward with. We also have both of them here to present, just to give us a quick update rundown of where we are in our band hall project. So I don't know if we want to take action on the contract first, or hear the report and then take action, or?
Yeah, we'll have the report.
Okay.
Superintendent, we really appreciate you guys bringing us back up here tonight. We are very excited about the activities that are taking place right now. We have met with the consultants, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structural, civil, on site as of Wednesday of last week, along with Wes McClure at Cheryl. We evaluated the site. We have already received our soils testing reports, and we know what we've got to do to get that band hall to stand up, which is a great thing. We also know what we have to do with regard to the utilities. I have reached out to the city and hope to hear back from them tomorrow. I think he was on vacation. I'm not sure, building official, where he was at. But I have left a message. Hopefully we can meet with him tomorrow or sometime this week so that we can go ahead and get the civil package approved and get started during the construction, part of the construction during the recess for Christmas. So with that, Wes, I'll let you kind of step up and give a little bit. I didn't want to steal all your thunder.
Thank you for the update on the design, Mr. Mize, Dr. Abbott, members of the board. We are moving forward right now, developing the work element packages so that we can begin with the solicitation of the civil and site work portion of the work. It's going to be very critical that we get off to a quick start here. We're going to have some coordination issues, and we want to maximize the shutdown time during the Christmas break in order to get some things taken care of with utilities. And we're also developing plans B, C, and D in the event so that we can work around some of those main utilities that are running through the addition. And we're looking forward to moving forward this week and getting this thing out and getting it solicited and get those sub and vendor pricings coming back in so that we can evaluate that with respect to our original schematic budget, and then turn around and look for the building packages so we can have everything marry up for the final guarantee of max. Thank you for your consideration of Cheryl Construction Company and the proposed contract agreement, and we look forward to being a part of the success of this project.
A copy of the agreement. Any questions about that? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the contract as presented?
So moved.
Mr. McGowan, second?
Second.
Mrs. Roddick? All those in favor? Thank you. Anything else? All right. The purposes for which this meeting was called being completed, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Daniel, thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Have a good night.
Daniel. Get well.
Y'all too.